All right, YouTube, this Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit. It's Sunday night. I was going to try to wait until Monday morning to make this video, but it was on my mind to make it. It was on my heart to make it. So I got up and I'm making it late. So the people that watch me, y'all to catch it in the morning. Now the situation is this. You got Rashida Tlaib out of Michigan, and she's in the Congress or whatever. She's Arab American, and she represents her people out in Dearborn, just like Ilhan Omar represents the Ethiopians, which are her people over there. I think it's in Minnesota. But the thing I want you to understand is they went out and they voted uncommitted. Okay. That was the Arab vote to Joe Biden from the Arab community. There is no coalition as far as voting with black Detroiters and Arab people from Dearborn. They pursuing their interests as us as black Americans are pursuing our interests. And I'm going to show you a reaction to The View and to Michael Moore and to a lot of these other Democrats. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to hijack the momentum of the situation in this time, in this hour, by saying, oh, I'm Rashida Tlaib. You know good and well, Joe Biden is not going to change his policy in the Middle East. So are you trying to get something else out of it other than that, what you're saying about what's going on in the Middle East? That policy is not going to change with him. So with no further ado, I'm going to stop there with my commentary, and I'm gonna let you see what I'm talking about. We're gonna start with the View with Whoopie them and how they talking. This is for commentary educational purposes under the Fair Use Act of 1976 and the First Amendment. Check these people out.
Michigan primary. President Biden won by 81%. But 13% of Democrats voted. So the votes are in from yesterday's Michigan primary. President Biden won by 81%, but 13% of Democrats voted uncommitted. And the state's Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib and Debbie Dingell have very different feelings about it. Take a look.
I was proud today to walk in and pull a Democratic ballot and vote uncommitted. We must protect our democracy. President Biden is not hearing us. This is the way we can use our democracy to say, listen to Michigan.
What people don't understand is how many.
I'm going to stop there. You don't represent Michigan. You represent Dearborn. You're representing Arab interests in Dearborn. While you are a part of the squad and a Democrat. We don't trust what you saying. We don't trust you, Rashida Tlaib. So stop acting like, you know what I mean, you speak for Michigan, because you don't speak for Detroit. And I'm quite sure you don't speak for up north or nowhere else. You speak for Dearborn. Now let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it 100.
Families have really lost family members. There are families that have lost 20 family members, 40 family members. I also say to my colleague, who I talk to all the time, we do not want Donald Trump to be president. If Hamas had done this under a Trump presidency, I'm not sure that he would have just nuked Gaza, to be perfectly.
Book a flight, unlock a
They
hotel.
interrupting me now for this.
So, I mean,
No, let me interject. This is March. It's a long way to November with what's going on in Gaza. It's a long way to November. So this type of pandering and political theater and machinations, we're going to cut through it. And the main reason I'm making this podcast is to let you know Rashida Tlaib represents Dearborn, which is a small suburb that sits on the outskirts of Detroit. They have their own community, their own stores, their own neighborhood, their own councilman, their own everything. She does not speak for Detroit. So them not being uncommitted as a threat to the Biden administration, I think you might as well get committed because it's not enough out there, enough of you out there in Dearborn to sway this avalanche against your party in Michigan. So I'm just setting the record straight. You know, people in Detroit ain't thinking about what you're talking about for shit to leave. You're already committed.
You know, the question people are asking is what will this impact of these uncommitted voters be and have in the general election? I personally don't know, but I have to tell you that you're in danger of seeming like a one-issue voter. And that's, I'm pretty sure, not where people are at. I understand you're upset. We talked about this yesterday. I understand you're upset. But, you know, either we're going to fix it together or we're not. And the other guy is not going to fix it at all. So it is, for me, no, that doesn't require that. I'm just saying, when you think about one issue votes, you have to realize that in our world, we're all sort of connected to all of this. So this isn't a one issue vote. When we're talking about, listen, you don't have to like the person, but you have the right to vote for the person that you want. That's all good. But to have a non-committed vote for me is hard, because I know how hard people fought to get the right to have their voices heard. Make your voice heard, but you know, stand up for what you're saying.
That's enough of Whoopie and The View. We're gonna go see Michael Moore and MSNBC because they weighing in on Michigan non-committed vote. That's Amanda Seals.
Michigan will be one to watch this November for several reasons. During Tuesday night's Democratic primary, more than 100,000 Michiganders sent a message to President Biden, casting an uncommitted vote in protest of his administration's handling of Israel's war on Gaza. A reminder, in 2020, Biden won Michigan by fewer than 150,000 votes. While he still won Tuesday night's primary, the uncommitted movement does not stop with Michigan and will not until Biden shows that he hears the message being sent. As Joe knew.
You see the propaganda? Do you see the propaganda? They're saying Michigan is uncommitted because Dearborn voted uncommitted. That's a politrick. That's politicians playing tricks. Dearborn is uncommitted. Most of Detroit is already committed. Our interests don't align with their interests. Have you ever seen them advocate for us? Even in the squad, they champion everything in another country. They don't champion the people in Detroit. They don't champion Black Americans. So don't try to co-op and get the illusion that there's some type of inclusion in your uncommitted stance? No. A lot of us over here is already committed in Detroit. So let's continue.
Puts it in the nation, the message was blunt. Biden's presidency could hang in the balance if he does not pay attention to voters he needs in November. Joining me now to discuss this is Academy Award-winning filmmaker Michael Moore. He is also part of the group Listen to Michigan, which helped organize the uncommitted push. Michael, it's great to see you again. Thank you so much for making time for us. Earlier this week, you said what Biden is participating in is something that is killing civilians and children. More than 30,000 Palestinians have now been killed in this ongoing war. At this point, does the president stand a chance at winning back some of those or any of those uncommitted voters? Would calling for a ceasefire at this moment be enough?
No, but it will go a long way. I can't speak for everybody who voted, obviously. We organized this campaign, Listen to Michigan, Mr. President, please. We organized this in less than 3 weeks. So, I mean, this was the most amazing thing to have happened. To have over 100,000 Michiganders, Democrats, I would say the majority, vast majority of whom voted for Biden in 2020, to come out and vote uncommitted, to send that message to the president that not only must there be a ceasefire now, but that we must stop, as Senator Sanders said earlier today, we must stop sending, we shouldn't send another nickel, is what he said.
I'm saying surely they jest. When they say, we want to cease fire now, do it look like anybody over there is finna cease fire? No matter what Michael Moore say, Whoopi Goldberg say, Rashida Tlaib say, or no over there, they not listening to the dictates of what goes on over here. Trust me, they're not listening to the dictates. So, to me, it seems like Rashida Tlaib, Michael Moore, and those Democrats are being disingenuous. You know what I mean? I think this is a politic. You know what I mean? To act, you know how they keep saying Michigan, Michigan. No, Michigan didn't come out and vote uncommitted. That's why Nikki Haley lost so bad in Michigan. They playing a mind game. You know, they playing a mind game. Let's watch what he got to say.
In bombs, guns, planes, bullets,
automobiles
to Israel until they stop this madness. And I think that is how people felt going to the polls on Tuesday, that we needed to send a strong message. Now, for people listening to this to think, oh, why are we throwing the election to Trump? I don't know. One thing I think I feel safe saying is that those who voted uncommitted on Tuesday are not going to vote for Trump. My fear, and the reason why those of us started this campaign, is to basically save Biden from himself, because of what he's done to support this massacre, to fund it, to be the bank for Israel in the slaughter of these people, that he is essentially guaranteeing that thousands and thousands of Americans are going to stay home and not vote on election day because they're not going to vote for Trump. But this is how Trump could win, because that 150,000 he won by in 2020, Hillary lost Michigan by just 11,000 votes.
Yeah.
That's 2 votes on average, 2 votes per precinct in Michigan. That's it. That's how close this could be. And to have 100,000 plus come out on Tuesday and say, you know what, our conscience will not allow us to support this.
Right.
And if people say, well, so does your conscience allow you to let Trump win? No. What it means actually to me personally is that now I've got to double and quadruple my efforts to make sure Trump loses, because Biden is working against me. Biden is working against the Democrats in Michigan first of all, 75% of the people in Michigan, according to the last poll I saw, want the ceasefire and want this massacre to stop.
I'm sorry, but I beg to differ in his analysis because people in Michigan and Detroit is so busy going to work, avoiding potholes, avoiding bad weather. I don't think they're worrying about what's been going on in the Middle East for the last almost a century. See, the narrative that they painting is like we don't want to focus on our own business first. See, this is why we kind of like Trump. Trump is a businessman. No, what's in it for us? You know what I'm saying? What's in it for us? Stop saying Michigan, Michigan. They keep saying Michigan. Go out there and ask Detroit, the average person in Detroit, what they think is the most important issue to them on the ballot. Please do in the comments. Anybody, the people from Detroit, what's the most important thing to you? Honestly, put it in the comments. Let's listen to the rest of Michael Moore.
Republicans and Democrats. So the fact that Joe Biden isn't listening to the people is a sad thing. It's going to hurt him if he doesn't change now. And going on TV a couple days before the primary with Seth Meyers, poor Seth, stuck with the ice cream cone there with Biden. And, when Biden promised that there would be a ceasefire by this Monday.
Right.
From your reporting here on MSNBC, that doesn't sound like that's going to happen. And so, what do we don't want Trump back in there do at this point? Because, and again, I can't speak on behalf of the Arab and Muslim Americans in Michigan who voted, but I've heard from enough of them, and I've heard from enough young people.
Hold on. That's one community in Michigan. Do you know how big the glove is? Do you know how big Michigan is? Detroit and Dearborn is like a spot, like right here. Look at all of Michigan. If all of Michigan is my hand, Detroit is right up in here. Small. Then you got the whole UP, and they're talking about one group that was a Democratic stronghold, trying to paint a narrative that is clearly false. So I'm not even going to listen to Michael Moore no more because it's going to be more of the same. It's going to be more of the same. They're coming out with a lot of different all kind of politics now. So I had to make this video to clear up the record. My subscribers like, share, and subscribe to the video, especially if you're out of state, so they can really see what Michigan is saying, because clearly they're trying to make it about Michigan. You know what I mean? So that makes it about Detroit. That makes it about this podcast. Peace. Keep your head on the swivel. Signing out of Detroit. Like, share, and